How you doing there, sir?
All right, brother. I know it's a little late in January, but Happy New Year. I think this is our first episode in 2025.
Yep. Get in
Season
there.
two, man. Season two.
Season 2, episode 1. Like I said, we got a new intro for the year so far, and we're gonna do some more things. We're gonna have some guests. Matter of fact, I talked to some people today, and maybe we'll have a guest on for you next Tuesday. Looking
Sweet.
forward to it and everything, and try to keep bringing the content that we've been bringing to you and
Yes,
everything.
sir. Looking forward to it, man. I got a couple guests too, man. So I think January, February is going to be a really cool month for everybody, man, to listen to us and get some good people on. But let's get it kicked off, man. We're going to talk a little bit about the hearings today down on Capitol Hill. Talk about the upcoming inauguration of y'all's president. Talk about the NFL playoffs a little bit, and then the NCAA championship game is coming up on the 20th. So we got a lot of stuff on the 20th. We got inauguration. We got Dr. King's celebration of his, of him, and then we got the NCAA championship. So
How ironic that it's on the same day, huh?
oh, that ain't no that wasn't by mistake.
Yeah, a lot of things are done. I'm really, to say the least, I'm frustrated with America these days and stuff. And I have a right to say that. So,
No, you definitely have a right to say it, and I mean, I think it's important, man, that black folks, man, need to speak up. You don't have to be disrespectful, you don't have to be ignorant, but we need to speak up, man. I mean, our people went through a lot in this country, man, and for us to be going in the way that we're going, with the help and the assistance of people that we traditionally thought were our allies, I think it's important, and I think that I said on the last episode in 2024 that I think that black folks need to reevaluate who we consider to be our allies, what we can let them do for us, and how much we allow them to be involved in the direction of our community. I think that what we've done over the last 40, 50 years doesn't work. Those same people who were supposedly our friends in the 60s, 70s, and 80s are now our enemies. And that's because we allowed them to infiltrate our community, and we became dependent upon them. But anyway,
yeah, I mean, all that is true. And the other thing that I'm really focused on this year is, and I don't want to mean it in a negative way, but I think we need as Democrats, and I consider myself a Democrat, even though I voted both ways at some times or another. Because I vote. I don't vote for a person. I vote for what's good for me and my people and everything. So,
right.
but we as Democrats got to meet Republicans where they are. Republicans are not playing fair, and when they're not playing fair, and we're trying to go by the rules are out the window right now. They're they're wiping us up because we want to be. And I understand that the thing that they say, when they go low, we go high. Sometimes you got to get down there low with them, you know,
Yeah,
and show them that we're not afraid of them.
no,
Because
I agree. I'm a firm believer in being very forceful. But I mean, on our fantasy group, one of the things that we talked about, and I said that I was kind of done with the Democrats, and mainly because I don't agree with the policies and the things that we think are important. I mean, we Democrats over the last 30 years have brought everybody under our tent, the LBGT community, every foreign person that comes into this country. We are out to get them what they need. We're out to assist them to make them become good citizens. And then when the time comes for them to repay us, when the time comes for them to vote for Democrats who help them become successful in this country, they turn their back on us. And that's what I'm saying. Black folks are the only group here that has been supportive of Democrats and supported Democrats at the rate that we have. Everybody else that comes here and uses the policies that benefit them that were created by Democrats turn their back on us. Look at Michigan. You look at the Arabs up there in Deer Park and the mayor.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, look at women in general.
Right, women.
Look at what Democrats are fighting for women's right, but
Yep.
most women voted for Republicans. Go
Right.
figure that.
Right, which is
You
my
know?
point is that we, and I said at the beginning of this podcast, what we need to do is evaluate who are our allies.
Yeah.
I am not for the majority of the things that Democrats now consider to be their platform. So
Right.
if they're willing to lose people like me, who
Mhm.
are, financially at a point stable, I can contribute. I'm going to be the one to vote. I have flexibility in my job to go and vote. When you're putting all your time and effort into people who don't vote or people who don't advocate for our policies, which is why we're losing.
Yeah.
So
Now, now, one thing, one of the things that I looked at was, and I've been talking to people. In our time off, I've been talking to people. I had my HVAC system replaced and everything. I uh, I had them come in and do some work with that. And in the process of getting my HVAC looked at, I talked to the gentlemen that were working on my system. These guys were black guys, uh, between the age of 25 and 36. It was three of them, and I talked to them. I took a my own little miniature poll and everything, and basically what I said was, uh, I asked them. I was like, so. If you don't mind, who did you vote for? And if you do mind, just tell me what you think of Kamala Harris. Okay. So by and large, all of them said they voted for Kamala Harris. Now, whether they did or not, that's up to them, but that's what they said. But they also caveated with, I don't think she was genuine. I don't think she was genuine. I think that she just trying to cater to people, and I can't believe that she would get superstars to do these concerts and try to convince us to vote for her and everything. So I kind of said, I said, okay. So you didn't trust her, but you still voted for her. You thought she was catering to people, and you thought that she was disingenuous. So what did you think about Donald Trump?
right.
If you think about that for her, what do you think about Donald Trump? Well, at least he's real. Real what? He's a real criminal. And he really don't care about you at all. I can at least say there's a 75 to 80% chance that Kamala Harris cares about your well-being and who you are as a person. I can tell you about 75 to 85% to 90% that Donald Trump don't give a shit about your well-being. Excuse the expression, but that's how I feel, So here we go once again as black people holding our people at a higher standard while accepting the bull crap that they give us. And that's how I feel right now. I feel that we are holding our people to a higher standard while we accept the little crap that they're giving us and everything. And that's all I had to say about that. And we can get back kind of on task.
Yeah,
But
we can go back in the task. I mean, we can go a little bit
you know,
longer. I like the conversation. I
yeah,
just I agree with you, and I've said for a very long time, and probably over the last 20, 25 years is, I went into the military, came out, and I saw things a little bit differently from, the where I was from in Ohio
mhm,
and stuff. And I see things differently. And, our community needs to understand what's being done to us is that
mhm,
things are purposely pushed into our community to keep us ignorant, to keep us stupid. And things like Kamala Harris doesn't care about you. What president in the United States has ever cared about the average citizen? They got bigger things to focus on. They're focusing on one of the most powerful country in the world, the richest country in the world. They got lots of other things to think about. They're not focused on you that live in neighborhood A in Atlanta or neighborhood B in Columbus, Ohio. They're focused on bigger issues. Black people in our country have been voting for presidents that did not have our best interests in mind for 50 years. And
yeah,
they did it because they said, what is the least amount of person that we could vote for that is going to get us something? And we're
right,
at a point, right? We're at a point now in our community where our community is ignorant. I mean, literally, stupid. We're not educating ourselves. We don't read. We go on social media and get our information. We don't research. We don't study the history of this country and what happens.
Right.
I've said for a very long time when we talk about products, our women spend $10 billion a year on hair products, eyelash products, makeup, clothes. $10 billion a year.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what's
and that's a subject we're talking about. We're gonna put with one of our guests. We're gonna talk about that. How best can we support the Black community and recycle our dollars into our community? Because we're one of the only groups, demographic groups that don't recycle our dollars like other groups do.
Yeah, because we allow other people to come into our community. We allow the Asians to come into our community and do our nails and do our hair.
Yeah.
We let the Arab community and other communities come in and have convenience stores,
gas stations,
alcohol stores. We let all those people come into our community and sell us stuff that we don't benefit from. And Chinese food. I mean, we go and eat. We get Chinese restaurants built in our communities. Chinese restaurants built in Black communities.
Yeah, yeah.
So anyway, let's get going, man. So
okay. So first subject today we're going to talk about is what do you think about the SecDef hearing? Tell me how you feel about how that is going. If you paid any attention to it or it don't matter or whatever. If the people that look at our YouTube channel, if you have any comments, please leave comments because if you think it doesn't matter, it does matter.
No, I mean, I'll simply put it, it's a clown show. I mean, this guy should be nowhere near the Secretary of Defense position. But this is what y'all voted for. This is what people who voted for Trump voted for. Having unqualified white men sit in front of the Congress of the United States in potentially to become the Secretary of Defense, meaning that he has the capability and the influence to send our men and women to war. This guy is a TV host on a television show, but yet he's sitting in front of Congress debating on getting voted as a Secretary of Defense. But This is what people voted for. So I'm going to leave it at that. I don't have a whole lot to say about it. He's unqualified. He has no experience, no education or experience in being the Secretary of Defense, other than being a white man and being conservative. I'll leave it at that.
Yeah, exactly. Good. That's good stuff. And I'll just tell you that the clown show is that you know what the Democrats are going to say, you know what the Republicans are going to say, and we're as Democrats, you're falling into the same trap. Yep. These people don't care he's not qualified. He's sitting up there with the biggest bravado I've ever seen in a hearing. Most people that go before a hearing want to consider themselves lucky to be considered in that position, and they are humble. This guy was going at them tooth and tell them how sorry America has been the last few years, how bad we've been, how we can't get it right, we don't do it right. And then of course you got the Republicans come in and they say, yep, you got it right. Yep, you got it right. And if you looked at it for more than an hour today, the prevailing thing that was going on was DEI and woke.
Mm-hmm.
They just gonna make it about DEI and woke. That's what they're gonna make it about. That's what it's gonna be about. And you can see that's gonna be the line of attack for the rest of this term for 4 years. They're gonna try to figure out how to reverse any progress that we've made in the Black community, and as far as female rights and for any other rights of anybody except for the white male. Right now, the going thing is that I can see is that if you're not white, you're not right for this job. If you're not a white male, You're not right for this job. Look at his cabinet picks. I don't have to say it. It's there.
Sure.
Yeah.
We knew this was going to happen. That's why I keep saying this is who y'all chose to be the president of the United States.
Exactly.
We knew this is what he was going to do, is put unqualified white men in positions of authority in our government. That's exactly because that's what Trump is. Trump is an unqualified white man who has been given everything that he has in life by someone else. So he's going to put those type of people into positions in the federal government. That's the way he wants it.
Yeah.
And again, so as I said, and this will be my recurring theme throughout our conversation today, is Black people need to look at what is best for us. Stop letting people who don't look like us and who don't have our interests in mind infiltrate our community and change us. And that means people that look like us. There are a lot of people out there, like they say, all skin folk aren't kinfolk.
Right.
There are a lot of Black folks out there who are advocating for the other team. Breakfast Club, Ice Cube, people like that. They're not advocating for us. They're advocating for the other team. Brian, the congressman from New York, he's not out there looking for the best things for our community. He's looking for what's the best for him.
Right.
And we need to open up our eyes and recognize that is what people are doing, pushing into our communities. Telling our women, you don't need a man, you don't need to be educated, you don't need to be married. That's being pushed into our community because they want us separated. You don't have a husband and a wife, that's 2 mortgages, right? You got a woman who's paying her apartment complex, a guy who's paying theirs. They're not together, they're not married. That means you got a woman who's going out to eat somewhere and a man who's going out to eat somewhere. So pushing that I'm single and happy in our community is purposeful. Just because it's a Black face is saying it doesn't mean that it's not being pushed into our community.
Yeah. Right. It's two things I have to say on this, and one is that we have people, like you said, pushing a narrative, be it Black, white, indifferent, or whatever, that is not within our best interest and everything.
Yep.
And the prevailing thing is going to be, you will see for the next 4 years, is that all the things that we consider what we consider moving forward and going to a more diverse America is just false. And how ironic is it that the narrative for DEI and wokeness is you got unqualified people in position because of these programs, when it's clear to see that you're going to have unqualified people running this country. So how ironic is that? You're going to have just people that shouldn't even be considered for any kind of position for that.
It's a projection. It's projection.
Yeah.
Which is it's not just Republicans. It's white folks have been this way the entire time of this country.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
It's not just Republicans. This is what America has been since the very beginning. Is always projection. Yeah, what they are pointing at you and saying is exactly what they're doing.
You're exactly right, and that's something I need to stop saying. Is Republicans? I need to say America, because America showed who they were by electing this man. So we showed who we are. So we know who we are now. At this time, I'm not saying it won't change, but at this time, we know who we are. Okay. Next on the docket, we're going to talk about the presidential inauguration coming up next week. What will you be looking for next week's presidential inauguration?
It's going to be a clown show. It's going to be a clown show. Everybody is there. You're going to hear these ridiculous speeches. You're going to hear, Trump and his ridiculous comments. He's going to say something stupid, something ignorant. He'll say something about MLK, about this is a great day. He'll say something stupid and ignorant like that because that's who they are.
Don't forget, he's going to say something about the crowd size too.
Right, exactly. He's going to say something about the crowd size. You're going to have all these ridiculous knuckleheads come in here because I'm in the DC area, come in town, run around with their, Trump and MAGA stuff.
Well, he's having he's having a uh, campaign style uh, event the day before.
Of course.
So he could get those people in town, and hopefully they'll stay for the inauguration. So his crowd will look bigger than what it really is.
Oh yeah. I mean, and that's what I expect. I mean, I expect for it to be a ridiculous clown show, which we expect because, I mean, look, y'all hired this clown. So, I expect that. And I expect for him to say something stupid. And I expect for us to look like fools around the world like we were last time he was president. And it's going to be the worst 4 years that this country has ever experienced.
Yeah.
Anybody who's rich, like, Jeff Bezos, who, has made his billions off of the back of liberal, so-called woke people, has made his billions, and he turned his back on the people during the election with the Washington Post not endorsing somebody. Just like, all of these rich billionaires who made their money off of these people turned their back because they saw more money. That's all it was about. And then people need to recognize that these billionaires, these are the same billionaires from the 20s and the 30s that were in control of our government, at that time, that you have presidents that came in and said, no, that's not going to be the case. We're going to take our country back. Those same ones are out there now. It's like Elon Musk, a billionaire who gets $19 billion a year from the United States government through contracts. He's now inside of the government. How's that going to work?
Yeah, it should never happen. You got Mark Zuckerberg.
Right.
Mark Zuckerberg and Bezos used to pal around with Barack Obama back in the day.
Right.
So how fast they switch teams, huh?
Exactly.
So what I want America, the people that do look at this video and we'll stream it out for you as soon as we get done, as fast as we can. We'll do some shorts and then we'll do the full length. But what I want you to know is at that inauguration, you're going to see the beginning of a new political dichotomy in America. You're going to see the beginnings of a true oligarch system. I'm not saying democracy is going to the wayside, because democracy don't just fall off just like that, because we got too many, I wouldn't say red tape, but we got too much stuff in place that holds it together for a little while longer. But you will see the beginning of the oligarch system. And what will determine if that system stay in place is if a Trump handpicked person is elected president after him. Because even if he don't want to leave, he's going to be too old by the time this 4 years over to stay. I know he'll want to stay, but the oligarch system will go into place if we have a continuation of the Trump years. And what you see with the oligarch system, for people that don't know what an oligarch system is, the richest of the rich make most of the decisions about how the country money spent, how the country is ran. And right now, the top of that oligarch system is Elon Musk, Zuckerberg, Bezos, the guy that runs Fox News, Rupert Murdoch, and there's some 4 or 5 more that are more low key. They are wrestling people, the WWE, whoever they are. These people that are super rich, that are able to be in a room with Donald Trump for no other reason than they have money. And so you see the flip flop of Zuckerberg, Bezos, and Elon Musk to a Donald Trump thing. Now, the other thing I want you to look at it with the presidential inauguration: how many MAGA people are going to be there? Because the oligarch people are different from the MAGA people for the most part, and you can see that tension this week with Elon Musk going up against what's the MAGA guy that was in Trump's last administration that just got out of jail?
Oh, I know you're talking about. Yeah, I can't think of his name. I know you're talking about.
Kylie, I can't think
Yeah,
of his name. But him and Elon Musk have been having a private feud all week long. Not a private feud, but a feud on Twitter and everything else.
go ahead, keep going.
Yeah. I'm trying. Hold on, just a second. I'm trying to find that guy's name. Steve Bannon. That's the name.
Yeah,
Steve.
that's him. Yep.
Yeah. uh, yeah, Steve Bannon, and Bannon has said this victory was by MAGA and not by Elon Musk, and that his I'm paraphrasing his words, but he basically says Elon Musk need to take his ass back to South America. I mean South Africa,
Please.
and said that speaking of said he is a white man from the most racist country in the world, and he need to take his ass back.
Look, Steve Bannon can go straight there. I don't give a damn what Steve Bannon has to say. I don't care what Elon Musk has to say. It's
but,
all about money. It's all about money with these folks, man. And
but that's what I'm saying. This for them to be successful, those two groups have to merge, and they got to kind of incorporate their power together. As long as they have that friction between those two guys, you're gonna have Donald Trump is not gonna be able to keep what he wants going on because he's gonna have friction.
yeah,
You know.
he's gonna have friction, man. But but you gotta keep in mind, man, that the ultimate unifier in this country is racism.
Yeah.
And that's what it's about. And people like Elon Musk and Bezos and those guys, they're going to use all of those idiots in MAGA to make money. They're going to use it. I mean, and I've said this forever, is that Donald Trump wouldn't allow one of you MAGA dudes to stay in his hotel. He wouldn't let you within 10 yards of his hotel.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're following. And it's because of racism. Because Donald Trump will tell them what they want to hear, which is, hey, you're white. You built this country. The reason that you don't have this job is because of that black guy named Sue. The reason that you don't live in a 7, 8,000, 100,000, 800,000 or $1 million house is because of that guy named Tony Cox. That's why you are not where you are. It's not because you're a shitbird. It's not because you didn't educate yourself or learn a trade to make you better. Not because you didn't want to leave poor ass West Virginia and move somewhere else to take care of your family. It's because of those two black guys. And it's easier for them to accept that than it is for them to recognize that I made bad decisions in my life, which put me in the place where I am.
Yeah. You're exactly right. So it's going to be interesting to see who's on the stage, who's actually going to speak, and how it's going to go. And once that's over with, the hard part comes. How will it be? How will he govern? And like you, at this point, then America, this is what you ask for. This is what you get. Good luck with that. Tell me how that works out in 4 years.
I have no sympathy. You and I have talked about it. I mean, the reality is that you and I are in a tax bracket where it's not going to affect me. My life is going to be the same. I'm going to probably get some of the tax cuts that Donald Trump is trying to give to people. I'm in that tax bracket.
Yeah.
So it's not going to really affect me financially. My concern is that there are people out there that listen to the Ice Cubes, the Breakfast Club dudes, the idiots, and think that what they say is important to you.
Yeah.
And that's the problem.
And it's not. And everybody, a lot of times people say people always vote their own interests. There's a few people out there that don't vote their own interests. There's a few good people out there that votes according to the people that they support, the people around you. I'm quite sure that while you're doing very well, you got family members that are not doing very well.
Sure.
That are that don't understand the dynamics of what's going on. And it's up to you to explain it to them and hope that they understand it and everything. So in that aspect, you're not really thinking about yourself alone. You're thinking about the people around you. And when I was in the military, a lot of guys in the military said, well, I want to vote for Republicans. Republicans are good for the military, which is a myth. And I said, well, what about your family that's not in the military? What do you think? What do you think about them?
Yeah.
And they look at you like, duh, what you talking about? So,
Well, again, I mean, you know, again, not to prolong this because we got other stuff to talk about, but it's just our community, generally speaking, is ignorant. It's stupid. It's stupid. We listen to people who don't have our interests in mind. We don't listen to people who are educated, people who are trained and experienced in what information we're looking for. We listen to sports figures. We listen to entertainers. And like I said before, you heard me say this before, and you know, people give me flack over it. Is I'm like, I don't give a shit what Denzel Washington has to say. Denzel Washington is a millionaire. He does not live the life I live. I don't care how many times he says Jesus. I don't care how many times he says he's a God-fearing man. I don't care. What I want to listen to is the person who understands finances, who tells me what I need to do in order to make sure that my finances are taken care of. I want to listen to the guy that is out there advocating for our community and in the community.
Right.
I don't really, I'm from Ohio, LeBron James from Ohio, but I don't give a shit what LeBron James has to say. Focus on yourself, LeBron. I don't care. But we don't do that. We listen to entertainers, sports figures, actors, singers. Cardi B. Why are we listening to Cardi B? First of all, Cardi B is Puerto Rican. She's not black.
Yeah.
She's not from our community. She's a culture vulture as far as I'm concerned.
And I think that's some of the problems that some of the guys I were talking to that day. Remember, I was telling you I was talking to the guys that was working on my system and everything. And I think that's what they were trying to say. Why do she had these people talking to us that don't really mean anything to us and everything? So,
well, before we move on, one more thing. You and I did this about 3 months ago. We showed a video. Malcolm X said this in 1962. Malcolm X was like, name me the white community that has their entertainers and their superstars and their athletes coming out and being spokespeople for their community. Name me another community that does that. Name me an Arab community that has somebody come out and there's a sports figure or entertainer that speaks on their behalf. Show me the Asian community that has their actors or their athletes come out and speak on behalf of them. We're the only community in the world that allows athletes, entertainers, podcast people, movie stars to speak on our behalf about what happens in our community and how we move forward.
Yeah. So the only way we're going to get out of this rut, in my opinion, is that the people, it's going to have to be organic from the streets. The people are going to have to come up, rise up, and say and do the things that we're talking about. Yep. Saying one thing and doing one thing is different, you know.
Agree.
And we talk a lot, and a lot of things we don't do a lot. So we're gonna go into a little sports now. I'm gonna ask you this question. You can answer it at the end after I give you some information. But who will play in the Super Bowl and who will win? So in the AFC, we got the Chiefs and the Texans going against each other. And then we got the Ravens and the Bills going up against each other.
Yep.
So let's go with the first game, Chiefs and Texas.
Oh, I think Chiefs win.
Chiefs win?
I think so.
The line is the Chiefs got 8 points on them.
Yeah, because they're playing. I mean, first of all, they're playing in Kansas City. It's going to be cold as shit, and Houston's not used to that.
Okay. So Bills and Ravens.
Ravens.
Okay. Gotcha. And then Ravens and Chiefs.
Ravens.
Okay. So now the NFC. Lions and Commanders.
Detroit.
They're 9.5 point favorites, almost 10 point favorite. I wouldn't take Lions in 10 points. I would take Washington in the 9.5.
Yeah, I mean, I think Detroit's going to win, but yeah, I agree with you on that. I wouldn't take.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I wouldn't take the Lions giving up 9.5 point, almost 10 points. This is the playoffs, and people have tendency to get tight.
Yep.
So you never know. Eagles and Rams.
Eagles.
Eagles favored by 6 points. I can go with that. I believe Eagles can win by a touchdown or more. Eagles look pretty sharp now.
Yep.
They got everything together. So Eagles and Lions.
Detroit.
Okay, gotcha. So we saying Detroit and the
Ravens.
Ravens playing for the Super Bowl.
Yeah, that's
I can rock. I can rock with the Ravens all day. That's my team.
Yeah, I think this is the Ravens' year, and Detroit, man. I mean, they're a machine.
Okay.
They're a machine.
Okay, so you think the Ravens gonna take the whole thing, right?
I think the Ravens are going to beat Detroit. It's going to be close. I don't think it's going to be a blowout. I think it's going to be close, but I think the Ravens can beat them.
Yeah, that's going to be a good game. I always tell everybody I don't bet on my team because it's hard to bet on them.
Sure.
Of course, I'm a root for them.
Too many emotions. Too many emotions.
Yeah, too many emotions. And Baltimore, to me, so far has showed me that they can be consistent because in the past they were really inconsistent and you could never tell which Raven team you would get. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
It's hard for me sometimes to say the Ravens definitely going to win. But the last, say, 6 or 7 weeks, they've showed a great amount of consistency with a formula of running first, passing later.
Yep.
And as long as they keep that formula going, I think they got a great chance to take this whole thing and make this a good year for us. Okay, we're gonna switch gears real quick, unless you got something else to add to that.
Nah.
Okay, so we're gonna talk about who wins the college football national championship.
OH, baby.
What you say?
I said OH.
Oh yeah, that's right.
IO, baby. Yeah, no. Look. Ohio State, man. I mean, right now, man, they got the best roster in business. Ryan Day, the head coach, is finally decided to let the players play and stop holding them back. I think Notre Dame's a good squad. I mean, Notre Dame went through some tough schools. They beat Penn State. They beat Georgia. I think it's going to be a good game, but I think Ohio State has too much power. Plus, Ohio State's defense is playing lights out. I see a 10, 13 point win, maybe something like, 35.
The line is 8 points for Ohio State.
Yeah.
So
that's going down because it started at 9. It started at 9, so it's going down. I think it's going to be like a 35-17, 35-20 game.
Mm-hmm. So that's roughly 45, 50. You saying about 52 points. The point line is 45 and a half.
That sounds about right. I mean, you got to think about it. I mean, obviously, I'm a Buckeye fan, so I'm biased.
Yeah.
But I mean, Texas can play, and Texas scored 14 points on Ohio State, and 7 of those points was because Ohio State threw an interception in our own side of the field. Plus, Ohio State had like 7 drives in between their touchdowns that they got pushed back because of penalties.
Right.
And Ohio State, the best receiver, in my opinion, the best receiver in college football, Jeremiah Smith, he had 1 catch for 3 yards. You think Notre Dame's going to be able to hold Jeremiah Smith to 1 catch? That's not happening.
Yeah. That I was looking at that. That team did a good job on him, man.
They bracketed him. They triple team. They double and triple team.
Yeah.
Which is why Ohio State's third receiver, Carnell Tate, he had 87 yards and catches.
Yeah.
He's the third receiver.
Yeah.
Because they were doubling up Smith.
but that's what you're looking for. You want people to step up when they double and triple team your team and everything. Um,
Who are you taking?
I'm taking Ohio State.
Okay.
Yeah, Ohio State been the best team the whole time. It's just can with college football is can they execute? Uh,
Right.
they got the talent. Can they execute? Notre Dame has been playing what I call above their pay grade. They've been playing very hard. They've been making the smart plays. They've been making the key plays at key times, and I can't take that away from them. I
Right.
didn't think very much of them when they got in the field. I didn't think that they could. I didn't think they would win the last two games they won. I really didn't. I thought
Who?
Penn State.
Notre Dame?
Yeah, I thought Penn State was going to be a harder test for them than it was.
I didn't think that Penn State could beat them because I
Mhm.
watched Penn State all year long, and
Yeah.
Penn State, their quarterback is shaky. Quarterback is shaky, and no disrespect to the brother James Franklin, I like him, but
Mhm.
he's not a big time coach, man. He just
Right.
he whittles, man, in big games.
Yeah. Okay. And that's what's been said by a few coaches this year, and I just hope for his sake that he'll be able to win some. I don't really like them, but I hate to see a guy like that get sacked, and you see other coaches hang around for years and years and don't do nothing at all.
Right.
That's the only reason I root for him pretty much. Not really somebody I root for anytime at all. So I think we covered a whole lot of ground today. We did some politics. We did the only thing we haven't talked about is entertainment news, and I don't have too much to talk about in entertainment news. Don't nothing really excite me right now in entertainment. Tired of talking about P Diddy. Tired of talking about all these other people and stuff. So yeah.
Yeah, I agree, man. And I mean, we did. This is a good show, man. I mean, I miss being on here with you. Looking forward to the next few. But yeah, I'm gonna tell you, man. I mean, maybe it's just because I'm old, man. I'm a 55-year-old dude, man. Man, I'm so sick of entertainment. I'm so sick of, you know, I'm so sick of hearing from these people, man. I
Yeah.
mean, like LA. I mean, I wish, I don't wish anybody gets killed, man. But I'm like, you're Los Angeles, man. You guys are loaded money.
Mhm.
Fix your own community.
Yeah.
Don't be asking for donations and stuff like
Yeah.
that. Fix
I
your
just,
own.
did you hear what they said earlier today? That LA County, not California, but LA County put more money into the federal tax system than all but four states.
Oh yeah,
That
but see,
county alone.
see.
Yeah.
This is a conversation for another day. But I'm just
Yeah.
gonna say this. This is what I talk about when I talk about Democrats being pussies.
Yeah.
California should be yelling to the rooftops about how they and New York City, the two most liberal states in the union,
Mhm.
fund the United States government.
Exactly. Exactly.
And Arkansas, Mississippi, Alabama, those poor ass states that don't bring anything into the union are the ones who are constantly trying to dictate to us how we live our lives.
And
When
how we spend our
California,
federal dollars.
exactly when
Mhm.
California and New York fund this government.
Yeah, yeah. And they
But
don't. It seemed like they always missing a point. Why
right,
can't you focus on this? If you and I can think about it, they pay people hundreds of thousands of dollars to think up talking points. Why can't they think about it? It mystifies me. And,
because
and not only not
they're so afraid of offending some hillbilly that lives in freaking West Virginia.
who cares? The facts are the
Exactly.
facts.
That's my point. We need to start tell them to their face. Look,
Mhm.
Alabama, you're one of the poorest states in the union. Your educational system is in the trash.
Yep.
Okay. You have a mortality rate for pregnancies and women having babies that's first in the nation.
Facts are
You have,
facts.
right. You have a death rate that's last in the nation. But yet we won't say it. Mississippi, you're one of the poor states in the union. And what do you have to say, Governor? Why do we care what you have to say as the governor of Mississippi about what people in the rest of the country do? Why do I care what the governor of Mississippi has to say living in Northern Virginia?
Facts are facts. And
And,
that's
and they
that's all
won't.
we asking people
Right.
to say is facts.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Minnesota, Wisconsin, Pennsylvania. You guys are funding these welfare queens in the South.
Hmm. And California is the other stat that I didn't know until the day also was California is the only state that put more money into the federal government
They got less
than
back.
they take out. Like,
Right. But
that's ridiculous. If I was Gavin Newsom, I would tell Donald Trump go take a ride.
Gavin Newsom does. That's
Yeah,
why I like
yeah,
Gavin Newsom.
yeah.
Gavin Newsom says that. He tells them,
Mhm.
and he's like, wait a minute, what are you talking about?
Yeah,
California, we put more taxes into the coffers of this federal government than any other state. Same
yeah.
thing with New York City. I don't understand why New York City mayors don't tell the rest of New York to go fuck off. Excuse me.
Exactly. Yeah.
If I was New York
Exactly.
City mayor, I'd be like, what did you say? What's the capital of New York?
Albany.
Yeah, I was like, what are you talking about, Albany? Are you serious?
Yeah.
Southern New York subsidizes the rest of New York City,
Yeah.
just like Philadelphia subsidizes the majority of Pennsylvania, and
And Atlanta do the same thing for
Atlanta
Georgia.
does it
And see, I
right.
don't understand why we don't leverage that power, man. Why don't we leverage that power?
I've
I
been
just
saying for a
understand.
long time, man. Milwaukee subsidizes the majority of Wisconsin,
Exactly.
Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, Detroit, Michigan.
But yet and still we let these yahoos like Donald Trump sit there and say that these cities are sorry and well and not ran well or whatever. But they are the ones that's fueling everybody else in the state.
Just like where I live in Northern Virginia.
Hmm.
You go to other parts of Virginia, and all you hear is, "Oh, well, the great state of
Yeah,
Fairfax and
yeah,
the great Republic of Fairfax County." Yeah, because we subsidize, we subsidize 65% of the tax base in Northern Virginia for the rest of the Commonwealth.
yeah,
So you're
yeah,
down in Richmond trying to tell us in Northern Virginia, who subsidizes the state, how we should live our lives.
yeah. And I would and I wouldn't be afraid to guess that Baltimore and Fort and
And Prince George's County.
Prince George's County is the one that does Maryland, but Maryland is a Democratic state for the most part. So, yeah. So these are good things that we can talk about later. Those are good subjects that we can talk about later. I appreciate bringing that up and everything, man. My final thing I need to say tonight is today was a happy day for me. For you people that have been following us or know, I've been on a journey with prostate cancer since March of last year, and I finally had surgery in October. And today was my 3-month checkup, and my doctor officially said that I'm cancer free. Of course, I still have a journey to go on for the next 12 to 18 months. I'm going to be dealing with the side effects of having that surgery, but uh, the key word there is I'll be dealing with it. I won't be dead, you know,
Hey man,
or having other types of treatment. I don't have to do any more treatment. All I have to do is physical therapy and dealing with some side effects and stuff. Yeah.
congratulations, man. That's
Thank
what it's about, man. I mean, if I just take a second, man, to say that, we've been right there with you, been praying for you, man.
you.
And any black men out here listening to this,
Yeah.
look, man, go on to the doctor, man. Get that colonoscopy, man. Get checked. Yeah, we
Yeah.
don't want to do it. I ain't gonna sit here and act like we
Yeah.
want to do it. Nobody
Exactly.
wants to go through that. I get
Exactly.
it. But look, man, you need to go on and swallow hard, man, and get it done. So you're not in a situation where you're being taken away for something that's preventable. And it
Exactly.
is
It's preventable.
outrageously,
I'm living proof today that you don't have to die from it. You
you know,
really don't.
it's
It,
outrageously high
yeah.
in our community, and it's
Yeah.
because we black folks and this stupid shit. Look, yes, and I don't know. Hopefully, YouTube or whatever doesn't flag this, but yes, they're going to have to put something in your behind. But that's
Yeah.
how it's done, and it needs
Yeah.
to be done. So you suck it up. You do what the doctor tells you to do. Get tested.
Yeah. And the thing about it is the ironic thing about it, and I think I told you this, and I think I've said it on here. I don't know for sure, but the crazy thing about when I was diagnosed with prostate cancer, it was a regular doctor's visit that he take blood and he check out all that stuff. When I went to the lab, I asked the lady, and I don't do this every time, but I did ask the lady what are the labs tests for, and she told me, and she never said anything about a PSA. And I was like, well, why am I not getting a PSA? I said I can't remember getting one in the last 6 months or so, and so she finally said, well, the doctor didn't order it. I said, well, let's see if we can get a doctor to order it because that's what I want. And she went through the process. First, they were going to charge me, but then I fought back against that too. I said I'm on Medicare and I got TRICARE for life. I shouldn't be paying for anything,
Right.
you know. So finally, she put her little codes in there and she said, "You right." And so the next thing I know, I'm taking it for free, and then
Yep.
I'm getting a call from the doctor saying, "Hey, your PSA levels are high. They're elevated." And so now I start my journey with that. But just think if I had just let it ride and not ask the question and stuff.
Which unfortunately is part of our community. And I get it. We got a history in this country of Black people not being treated the way we should be treated in the medical field. But my point is, go get it done. Advocate for yourself. You know, when you walk in the doctor's office, you need to be telling him, hey, I'm 40, I'm 45. I got a history of cancer in my family. I need to take what I need to take. And as I said, you need to go on in there, and I did it. You need to go in there for the colonoscopy, you know, go on and go to sleep. Let them do what they need to do to find out if something's going on so they can catch it early. And stop with this. Go ahead.
That's the crazy. No, I'm sorry to cut in, but that's the crazy thing about colonoscopy is you sleep.
Yeah,
you don't know what's going on.
You have no idea what you're doing. And the thing with me was, you know, when I went in, you know, not to get into too many details, but I had cool nurses. They were like, they were like, Mr. Brown, don't worry about it. We done seen a whole lot of these. We ain't seen nothing you ain't never seen before.
Exactly.
They were cool. They were like, look, they're gonna you're gonna be asleep when you wake up. It's gonna all be over and done. So I'm saying to Black men, specifically Black men, stop this nonsense, man. Your family needs you. Your family needs you there. So go on in there, get your shit done. And if they find something, they find it early, it's curable.
The worst thing about colonoscopy is
it's all that shit you got to drink before you go in.
Draining your system. That's the worst thing about colonoscopy. As far as a PSA, when you go to your normally as a PSA, the only time it's uncomfortable if your PSA is elevated and you have to go to a urologist, and then you gotta bend over and cough.
I hate that shit. I tell my doctor all the time. He be trying to talk to me. I'm like, man, don't talk to me, man. I'm like, just do what you need to do. We don't need to talk, man. This ain't no fucking date. This ain't no date, brother.
Exactly. Bend over and call.
This ain't no date, man. I don't need you to talk to me, man. Just do what you need to do.
It was so crazy about it when I got my surgery and I thought everything was over and done. I said, at least I ain't got to bend over and cough again. My therapist, my physical therapist said, no, you got to. We gotta make sure those muscles. We gotta make sure those muscles are growing back strong. You know, like, oh God, not again. But yeah, I appreciate all the thoughts and prayers of everybody. It's a happy day for my family. You know, and we just got back celebrating and everything. Okay, give us our particulars and stuff, where you can find us and everything. Man.
Look, man, it's been a few weeks since we've been on. We're gonna get this out as soon as Tony gets in the production room. It's gonna be on Twitter. It's gonna be on Facebook. Our whole episodes, and I'm sorry, not Facebook, YouTube. Whole episodes and shorts. It's gonna be on Spoutable. Our X account is at Gents Making Sense. I'm sorry, at Gents MS. Same thing with Spoutable, and it's up on the screen right now. If you have any comments about wanting things you want us to do, man, please subscribe or send us an email at gentsmakingsense@gmail.com. And then finally hit that subscribe.
Do it now or I'll hunt you down. Smash like.
Do it now or we'll hunt you down.
Yes, sir.
So, thanks a lot, man. Good show. Appreciate all you've done and everything to help keep this thing going. We're gonna keep it going regardless. We're gonna try to get people, guest visitors here, and we're gonna try to get some of our co-hosts that haven't been able to come by and everything. So, yeah, just hold on, okay?
Right, brother.
Okay, so we're gonna get out of here.
All right, we all finishing now.
We get